How's it going, guys? I hope you guys had a great week. So it is Friday, guys, which means it is Gaming News Friday. So today, let's talk about the big 3 news stories that hit this week in our Friday news roundup. Third and final piece of news I want to talk about today is the Game Award 2019 nominees. So finally, we had the nominees announced. So of course, on the 12th of December, there will be the Game Awards, of course, hosted by Jeff Keighley. This is his baby. There are 29 categories in the Game Awards, and we finally found out some of the nominations. I'm going to go through them together, talk a little bit about my thoughts on it, and kind of, what I want to see win and what my thoughts are. So if we actually have a look on it, the one that everybody is interested in is Game of the Year. That is the one that everybody cares about. That's the one really that matters. But there are a number of nominees this year. So nominated for Game of Year, we have Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds. Some of these games, I absolutely would say Sekiro deserved to be in Game of the Year. Outer Worlds deserved to be considered as Game of the Year. Control was a great game as well. Death Stranding is a good game, and it's an interesting story and it's an interesting world, but I'm not sure it deserves Game of the Year because the gameplay in Death Stranding isn't great. It's nothing massively innovative. It's nothing massively new, and it's it's a little bit repetitive. It gets classed by some as a little bit dull. I think Death Stranding would make a great movie or TV series, but as a game, I'm not sure. But I guess it's it's not everyone's cup of tea. I suppose it's a little bit like Marmite. You either love it or hate it. For me, looking at these choices here, without a doubt, my Game of the Year I would pick for this year so far is The Outer Worlds. And that's the one I would pick for Game of the Year. I'm going to vote on these as I go along, so you guys know what my choices are, and then you can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Outer Worlds this year was fantastic. Amazing RPG. I am going to do a full review of The Outer Worlds, and it really did for me. It just rekindled my love of RPGs, and it gave me these vibes of playing the first Mass Effect game. I loved every single moment of playing that game, and for me, it's easily Game of the Year this year when looking at the other nominees as well. So that is Game of the Year. Let's go back to the other nominees, see what else we've got. So Outer Worlds for Game of the Year. We then have action game nominees for that are Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5 and Gears 5 and Metro Exodus. For me, I think all these games, kind of deserve, to be there in terms of being action game. Astral Chain, fantastic action game, great combat. Metro Exodus, enjoyed that too. I haven't finished the game, but I really enjoyed it. But for me, the Game of the Year in terms of action game, it's easily Gears 5. I'm so surprised that we haven't had more nominations for Gears 5 this year. I thought that game has been heavily underappreciated. I thought it was a fantastic game, a brilliant exclusive this year on the Xbox One, a must buy for this year if you're an Xbox owner, and it's just great from the gameplay to the story. It's just all brilliant game, and really enjoyed it. Next category is action adventure game. Nominated for that, we have Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. For this, I'm actually going to choose Sekiro because it's a hard game, but I really enjoyed it, and it really pulled me in, and I thought the gameplay and the combat, I thought the world was absolutely fantastic. It was really interesting, and I loved it. I really, even though it was hard as hell, I really enjoyed it. The next game is Art Direction. Nominees for that are Control, Death Stranding, Gris, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I think actually for Art Direction, I'm gonna say I actually think Death Stranding, because I think the artistic design in Death Stranding and the facial animations and the world and the creative vision for the world of Death Stranding is really interesting, and visually it's it's a gorgeous looking game. So I've got to say I think Death Stranding had probably one of the best art directions this year for me. In terms of audio design, I'm actually going to put on there for audio design I don't know, because music's not really a massive thing that I really, focus too much on in games. I suppose there's some games that have really good music. I thought the music in Death Stranding was quite good, particularly when you're sort of walking and vistas and that kind of thing. So I'd probably vote, Death Stranding for audio design. Community support, I think Final Fantasy 14 for me has always got one of the best communities out there, and I think they really, really work with their community very well, and I prefer it, above a lot of these. I think, Destiny 2 got a lot of things wrong. Didn't listen to its community enough. Even though it did, it has introduced some improvements with Shadowkeep and everything. But I think Final Fantasy 14 really has a very passionate community, and I think it's shown massive improvements and leaps and bounds, and obviously it's still got a huge community, and I think it's great. I don't know any of these guys, so I'm really not interested in the content creator of the year. I'm not interested in anything to do with esports. I could care less. I don't know why they focus on any of this at the Game Awards every year, but I've got absolutely no interest, and I think the majority of people don't care about the esports. I think for them it is all about the nominees. That's what people are interested in. Family game is interesting because all the nominees here, they're all Nintendo, which is kind of incredible. So obviously we've got Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Maker 2, Smash Brothers Ultimate, and Yoshi's Crafted World. I've got to choose Luigi's Mansion 3 because I'm loving that game so far, and I'm really, really enjoying it. In terms of fighting games, I probably would say, I think Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, because there's such huge roster in that game, and I've been playing it, with Dante, and massively enjoying it, and it's really, really cool, all the added DLC content and everything that's come with it. It's really, really fun. It is the best Smash Brothers version. It's the best game for Super Smash Brothers, I think, out there at the moment. In terms of indie games, I haven't played a lot of these this year. I have seen Untitled Goose Game. I watched my friend Ian play that, and I have played my friend Pedro with Dante, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm really shocked that there aren't other games here. There've been a lot of other really good indie titles, like Plague Tale Innocence was really, really good. So I'm surprised that that's not on here. But if I had to choose these, I probably would go with my friend Pedro. Really, really enjoyed that game. We then have game direction. So that's, for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and game design. Now, if I would have said outstanding creative vision, I would have said Kojima for Death Stranding. But when it comes to game design, I just cannot pick Death Stranding because I just think the game design isn't that great. I'm actually going to say Control because I really, really enjoyed the game design in Control. I like the visual, sort of creative vision of it as well, and it was a really, really good game. So I really, really enjoyed it. Games for Impact, I actually have only played a little bit of Concrete Genie on this, so I haven't played a lot of them, so I don't feel that I can really comment on this too well. I do hear that Life is Strange 2 was very, very good. I hear that Sea of Solitude was good. These are about games that have something to say. They raise thoughts, they deal with, serious issues. Sea of Solitude, I think, deals with mental health and depression. That's, of course, a huge problem right now in our society. So I think that's an important thing, to address in games. So I don't know. I guess because I've only played Concrete Genie, that's really the only kind of one I would go for. But I'm probably going to say I think Life is Strange 2 is probably going to win that. When it comes to independent game as well, I haven't played any of them except Untitled Goose Game, and I think Untitled Goose Game is going to win because I think that's been a huge phenomenon this year, and it's had a huge support and player base. So I think Untitled Goose Game is going to win. Mobile game, couldn't care less. Do not care. I generally despise the mobile game industry. It's just full of microtransactions, and I don't really like them that much. I have played, obviously, Pokemon Go. That's probably the only mobile game I play at the moment because this just really isn't something I'm interested in. Multiplayer game, I'm going to have to go with Borderlands 3. Really enjoyed playing that together with Dante. Have really enjoyed doing the in-game game and playing with other people online. So I think for me, Borderlands 3 is the best multiplayer game this year. Narrative-wise, in terms of the story, it's easily The Outer Worlds, but I'm really happy to see A Plague Tale Innocence in here. I'm really, really happy to see that they got nominated because it's a great, great story. But I've got to say that The Outer Worlds for me, the story, and I think it's more the control that you can have over the story and the multiple different endings and the choices that you can make. And everything, you know, the worlds and the characters, it's all great and it all fits and meshes together so perfectly. So The Outer Worlds for me is definitely the best narrative this year. Best ongoing game, I'm going to have to say Final Fantasy XIV. I think that's the best ongoing game personally for me. What do I think will win? Probably Fortnite. Maybe Rainbow Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, maybe, because that's obviously had a lot, it's been going for quite a while. Destiny 2's done some great things this year, though, with Shadowkeep and going free to play, so maybe that will actually win this year as well. And then performance, of course, we've got, quite a few here. We've got Ashley Birch, who played Parvati in The Outer Worlds. I did not know it was her when I played the game. I'm like, this voice sounds familiar. I didn't know it was Ashley Birch, though, so that's really, really cool. Courtney Hope, of course, as Jessie Faden in Control. Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz in Gears 5. Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding. Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. And Norman Reedus as Sam Porter-Bridges in Death Stranding. Who would I like to see win? I want Laura Bailey to win because I thought her portrayal, I thought her performance as Kate Diaz in Gears 5 was very good. I thought she gave an incredibly powerful performance and I'd like to see her recognized for it. Who do I think will win? I think it's going to be your Hollywood stars. I think it's going to be either Mads Mikkelsen or Norman Reedus. That's who I think is going to win this year. And I feel like the Game Awards is a little bit becoming like the Oscars, like they're not voting for people that necessarily should win, but more people that they kind of want to see win. I think it's going to be Death Stranding. And I can see it because obviously the performance is still great and the facial animation, facial capture is great. But heart and heart, I want Laura Bailey to win. Role-playing game. There's a lot of really good role-playing games out this year. Kingdom Hearts 3 was fab. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, huge fan of that game. Final Fantasy 14. The Outer Worlds. There's been a lot of really, really good role-playing games this year, but the best RPG this year, easily for me, is The Outer Worlds. Bar none. It blows everything out of the water. The only game I would say that maybe would have given it a little bit of run for its money was probably Fire Emblem Three Houses, because up until Outer Worlds, that was my best RPG of the year, and then Outer Worlds came out and just knocked it out completely. Score and music, I'm going to have to say Death Stranding, not Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding. Sports racing game, I haven't really played any of these. I probably would pick Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel because I heard that game is a lot of fun. Will not pick FIFA 20 or Formula 1. Just any of the sports games. I generally don't like them, particularly FIFA, because it's just got a lot of loot boxes and microtransactions, and I really, really hate that, and I will not support anything like that. So for me, the best racing game is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. What do I think will win? Probably FIFA. Most likely it will be FIFA. Strategy game wise, easily that's going to be Fire Emblem Three Houses for me, without a doubt, though there have been a lot of really good games. The other one I would say probably gave it a close run for its money is probably Total War 3 Kingdoms, but Fire Emblem Three Houses was a fantastic strategy game. Brilliant strategy game, brilliant story, really, really enjoyed it. VR, AR game, don't really know. I don't really have VR. I have friends that have VR, but I haven't really played much of them. I played some Beat Saber this year, really enjoyed it a lot. So, but then Blood and Truth was kind of really cool. It's sort of like this story. So I would choose Blood and Truth, because I think that looked really interesting. So those are the nominees, for this year for the Game Awards. Death Stranding, without a doubt, has dominated the Game Awards. I think it's got something ridiculous like 10 nominations, which is insane. Control has done pretty well as well this year, which is really great to see. And I'm really glad to see that The Outer Worlds has had a number of nominations as well. What do I think is going to win this year and going to take away most of the awards? I think it's going to end up being Death Stranding. I think Death Stranding will win Game of the Year. I think it'll win a lot of art direction and music. It might even win Best Performance. Do I think it deserves Game of the Year? No, I don't think it deserves Game of the Year. I think it's a good game, but I don't think, you know, the whole thing in its whole package. The Game of the Year for me is something that is, you know, really, really up there. You know, you've got good games, you've got great games, and then way above, you've got Game of the Year. And that's something that really stands out. That is amazing in every respect, from the story to the gameplay to the visual design. Everything works perfectly. And for me, Death Stranding just doesn't fit that bill. Outer Worlds absolutely does, but Death Stranding, it doesn't for me. So those are the nominations for this year for Game of the Year. Let me know what you guys think of this news in the comment section below, what your thoughts are on this news. And of course, get some discussion going and share those thoughts. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week. I'll be back again soon. I am working on my Outer Worlds review. And also, I am going to have a review coming for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order as well, which I beat last night. So please look forward to that as well. Those two reviews will be coming up in the weeks coming. And then in December, I've got a couple of videos planned in December in the run up to Christmas. So please look forward to those as well. Anyway, hope you guys having a great week. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.